Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Hi.
we are Spaghetti Games.
This is our first stream, so bear with us if you see something weird, and if you see something that can be improved, please let us know. And I'm gonna let Gianluca, also known as Gian or Borto, explain the format of Spaghetti Game.
Yeah, basically, sorry if it's gonna be a little cringe, but it's the first live/video, so we are gonna get in the mood soon. Spaghetti Game is a project about understanding the games, the art behind games. So here with me there's Leonardo, that it's an environment artist, a senior environment artist, Ubisoft, and I'm a gamer. That's it. We're gonna play in this case Battlefield 5, and we're gonna comment the each frame by frame. We're gonna pick it and explain what's the reason behind each compositing decision about the frame that we picked. The gameplay is recorded by me in a previous session, so we're gonna see the point of view of me, that I'm a gamer. I'd like to say an hardcore gamer, but maybe it's too much. And here with me there's Leo, that is gonna explain as an expert what it's the thought behind each image that we're gonna see. So Leo, if you want to say something more, or we can probably start.
That's pretty good, yeah. And I will add that if you are a game developer, if you are starting to become one, if you are just a gamer, in these streamings, you're gonna learn what goes behind, as Gianluca will say, the environment in video games. And again, everything that I say, everything that I write down is just my point of view, and I'm just highlighting more than I should some concept and some fundamentals behind the environment, which might not be aligned with what the devs of the game were thinking when making the environment. Another thing that is worth mentioning is sometimes, especially like senior people, do things by instinct, so they don't really think about placing object in a certain way. They just do it because it's just an instinct for them. And so some of the things that I will be saying might be very, very highlighted for the sake of this video and for the sake of making you understand the fundamental thing about it. Yeah, I think we are ready.
Yep. Let's deep dive into the gameplay.
Video session where you're gonna see our faces too. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Let's play. So this is the video that Gianluca recorded, and as you will see, he will die often because it's not as good as a gamer as I think it is.
I died just for the sake of the video. If I die, it's because I wanted to make a cut there, so we can start another part of the mission,
Yeah, makes sense. So why we picked Battlefield 5 for the first game? I guess we had that game in our libraries of games, so it was okay. Let's start with something that we already have. And then another reason why we picked this one is because, at least from my point of view, the campaign is very well curated from an artistic point of view. So I think it could be a good example to this channel and highlights the fundamentals of the
and it has a very cinematic feel, all the campaign, so it's very nice to see as a first video. So I don't know if it's gonna be very interesting, the part where we analyze the story. Maybe the story is gonna be essential in some parts to understand what's the environment around us, but right now. It's just the intro.
And another thing that I want to remind is that this is happening live, so forgive me if you see weird things when I'm drawing on things, because what I will be doing, I will be drawing lines on top of the frame just to make you better understand what I'm trying to say. And
It must be driven with conviction.
when live things happen, you can undo it, so just bear with me.
Lesser nature has led it stray.
But yeah, you can see already from the cinematic how cool this game looks. About to start. There we go. Right now. Wait.
So it was very nice, the beginning of the game. Like the Aurora Borealis, it's beautiful. And you get to jump right into the action, as you will see. Here the game explains you nothing. You are like a soldier. You went down to the battle without any tutorial or information. So the player needs to learn the basics right away without any hint.
So right here, in this first shot where the player is captured in the game, we can already see how well the design of the composition of this scene is. For example, you can see all this guy running towards that point, that corner, and then we have this leading line leading our eyes toward this point, which is where we're gonna go next. And you can see those lines as well in the fence, but is the train here, etc. And also like this top corner here, it's also very high in contrast. You can see there's the light behind that creates a very nice silhouette, and that's where the player will go next. After that, you can already see that the power line is like going to that direction, right? And because of this spotlight from over here, we got like clearly lines that are leading to this. So from like reading this first shot, I can see how the player will first go here, probably will do something here, and then probably it will turn right at some point in order to reach this second spot here. So that's what I can see from the first view of the game from a player point of view. So now let's go back to the video and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, in fact, I go straight forward there because there's another option apparently, and the light suggests me that there's something new. It's also interesting how I immediately used the only object that there's there as a cover, you know.
Yeah, and on top of
So
that, go for it.
Yeah, go.
On top of that, because this is as Gianluca was saying at the beginning, this is the first part of the game, and you get thrown in it without any explanation of how to play. This is the player's first encounter, and you can see the light behind here that is casting on this guy, and it's creating this very high contrast silhouette here, and it's basically just to make you see those three guys very well by making the background lighten of them so that the silhouette is like right in your face. And I guess that's a way to teach the player how to shoot people. So that I think the dev here are trying to make the people stand out more so that it's easy for you to,
so you have a clear vision on the target.
exactly. And Yeah, and on top of that, having a strong light behind it creates like this nice atmospheric fog, which creates a very cinematic effect. So, win-win.
There's a slight UI on the enemies in this case that indicates that the red triangle that they are obviously enemies. So in this case, I think the VFX attract me. There was a part before where an explosion captured my attention, so I went through this part of the map.
As you can see, like right now, Gianluca is going towards that place that we saw at the beginning. So I think everything worked really well. Even here in this spot here, you can see how that's where you go. You got this weird shape opening here. You got lights here pointing at that direction. You got your friends going with you to that direction. You got prospecting line leading to that. You're on top of the bridge, so you got like these lines here, and obviously like that's where you go. And I think it's pretty clear and not much. Yeah. And one thing that I can see that can be helpful for the player from the player point of view is that thanks to this light, not only has a cinematic effect to the layer, but it also make this cover here popping out more, so that as a player you can go here, take cover, and shoot the guy from the other side. And
yeah, I don't think I really used it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, okay. let's see how it goes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Actually, maybe I didn't really need it in that case. Yeah,
Cool
this
slow-mo.
was all script.
We fought everywhere.
All script, so yeah,
Every condition low.
the intermission goes to another scenario.
But death is death, no matter where you are. And suffering is the same in every language.
I'd like to see what you are going to say here, because I think this level was pretty flat. I mean,
So let's stop right here and see. So what I can see straight away is there's plenty of leading lines, in my opinion. There is this big smoke here. This smoke here, in this big shape, and they're basically creating a gate, which is here. And I think that's where they want the player to go. And probably that's why you're allowed to go. And on top of that, you see we have this like nice silhouette here that creates depth, but as well creates this leading line that direction. Same on this side. We got this leading line here. Going that, we got here this like canyon thing that is going down. We got something here which is smaller but it's still there, and then we have these sort of trails on the terrain, which are like not very strong, but I think they had selling this going there, this. I think it's more. I think this just connect there. I'm using the Wacom on 2 monitors, so it's kind of weird of proportion to paint, but yeah. But they are all leading there, and you can see also the fog that we have here. That is also creating this interesting silhouette here, which is another arrow. And then lastly, I think what really stands out from this scene is the fact that this is the only man-made structure that you can see. And because there is more fog behind here, you can see how you can either go probably left or right. I think maybe probably just left, but from what I read, it just looks like you have to go here. That's the objective, left or right. And I think on top of that, if I put a full screen and it's doing that. If I draw some composition line, why is doing?
Okay.
Alright, so you're gonna see that this area is on the rule of third, which is where you wanna put the subject, and you wanna, like, it's an easy way to put the subject in a way that the eyes look at it in a nice
To
way.
attract the attention, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. And then we got this guy here, and then I think that's pretty much it. So from long story short, in this shot, I think what I see is like, right. So we see one, and then two. All the fog, all the environmental fog and smokes here are helping to guide the eyes on target here. Ultimately.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
And also the character is looking at the main structure thing.
Yeah, I guess this guy
No?
is like looking.
It's giving a hint on what he's going to. Okay, that's pretty much information about a scenario where I thought there was pretty much nothing. I mean, I saw a desert. And I needed to go to the other way around. So it's pretty interesting to see how many things can be taken from this shot, that it's the first one. And I think also that it's the major shot, I mean, where all the attention of the artist go to. It's the first thing that the player going to see, so they're gonna put a lot of stuff here to induce you to go somewhere.
Exactly, and also a really good way to make everything, your environment and your like game looking nice, having the sun very close to the horizon, so either sunset or sunrise. Can't really tell which one is this one. They're very similar. Oh no, can you tell, Johnny, when is a sunset and when is a sunrise?
No.
They kind of look the same. But yeah, what it makes good is the fact that you got this very like nice highlight, you know, also called as golden hour, and you have like these nice and long shadows, and you got details on the characters, or the details on the rock.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely like a time of the day that is really good. Make things cinematic and okay, nice. So if you Google golden hours, you would see a lot of picture of romantic sunset. And,
it's the easy way to make a great photo, I guess.
yeah, sometimes I think game overuse that, and kind of all the game it's a sunrise or sunset time of the day. But I think you know, it's a good way to give a pretty look. All right, let's keep going. Cool.
Yeah, so the main objective is right where you pointed. Actually.
And another thing that I wanna say is that the smoke here is the line that is telling you where the enemy is gonna be. And then I saw in the video that the enemy were starting to shooting at you, which is clearly, oh, that's where you're coming from. Plus, on top of that, you got this explosion, so the player's eye is quickly directed to this location or all elements.
Mm-hmm.
I think the smoke here plays a really like a key role on bringing the eye here, and with the effects on it, they definitely achieved that, in my opinion.
Although I was still looking at the right part of the map where there are no things at all.
I guess I took a wrong screenshot because we got the smoke in front of us. But, let me see if I can get a better one. What I was trying to say is that even if Gianluca went on the right side, the trail on the terrain was leading him back to the main.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Also, the only structure that there was, because I distracted, was leading to the point where I needed to go. The watchtower that I destroyed. It pops out at some point and indicates the direction, like a landmark, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's also a good point. And talking about landmark, there you go. We go another one here. So it's kind of breadcrumbing you towards the space. Plus we got these trails here or water flowing things on the terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Got line here. Got line there. We got another one of that. We got 1, 2. And probably there was another one that way. And repeating the same asset multiple times in a bigger space is really good way to create depth and give a sense of scale. Because thanks to the perspective and the fact that this is looking bigger than that, your brain can tell how close you are to things and how far away things are. And that's so nice, and also like a really good way to. There's a tower here. There's a tower there. That's where you're going. And that's pretty much it. You saw that explosion there. It's literally like if you weren't looking at that, you were like, oh, that's where I need to look at because I want to make a kick-ass explosion thing.
This was embarrassing. There was this panzer that was in front of me and I couldn't destroy it.
I thought you were a pro gamer.
Yeah, I was, yeah. When I was young.
For a second, I thought you
use it. Yours, theirs, it didn't matter. This war would prove that from ocean.
Yeah, it could actually happen in the near future. So this one is gonna be interesting, I guess.
All right, let's stop it right here. We can see already a lot. So from what I see here, you start the game, and the gun is already the arrow of
Pointed.
the thing, right? They're pointing at this thing. That's why like other arrows that I see is like brought this thing, and as you can see the structures, you can kind of tell that there is something going down here, and there is a lot of verticality structures in the background. So you can see down, going down, down. So definitely, plus on top of that, next to the VFX, we got this RPG leading you. Definitely the main focus point of this scene. Another thing interesting to look at is the fact that overall in this area is where you have the brightest light is seen. You can see like
it's true.
The light on top tank here, the light here, there. It's like it's very high in brightness, which makes all these characters popping out, which is I think what they have. And on top of that, we got some extra fog behind them to detach them even more from the background, which is the wildwood. And yeah, so yeah, and lastly, I think one really good things here is this foreground element, which apart from these polygons, but like in general, the foreground here creates a really nice depth to the scene. And you can see like the plants here, you can see the plants there, you can see the plant there. So you got a sense of it. And definitely this like foreground here create that sort of depth. And,
From my point of view, that part on the right, it's giving me a sense of protection, and that's all, and the gun is already pointing where I need to shoot, so it's pretty straightforward here.
yeah, exactly. So remember also that we are at the beginning of the game, so I guess it makes sense to have kind of like easy way.
Yeah.
So another thing that I wanna point out is that this arrow here, this one here, there's like this ramp of dirt coming down or up. It's used mainly for directing the eye here, and you can see how, from a logical point of view, that is where the water will flow down and this stream here. So in this case, these ramps have two purposes. One is like leading the eye, and two is like making sense of the stream by creating what do you call it, affluent of the stream. And
the flow.
Yeah, to add like water to the stream, because water needs to flow somewhere, right? In order to create the stream. So that idea. That's good, guy. The explosion, awesome. Got enemies there.
There's a ton of VFX there that attracts my attention. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing how good I am?
Yeah, pretty good. Almost all headshots. Another thing that I wanna point out in this scene is the color correction. I think they did an amazing job in using very few color. And it's like in general pretty good, because we've got like these green patches, which is kind of always the same sort of green, so it doesn't have much variation. And then we got the rest of the environment, which is this desert light yellow thing, and I think that really makes it very cinematic and atmospheric. That adds a lot of cinematic and atmospheric feeling. Sorry, I forgot to switch to the... Yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't know really what I need supposed to do. Oh, yeah. There was people up there. This one was pretty difficult to me to see, actually. The people right there are very merged with the background, so I was having difficulties to actually aim to them.
Yeah, I think the devs realized that, and you can see behind here how bright this area is compared to them, right? So they definitely saw that, and they tried to make them pop out more. Right? So you got this very clean light line of the bridge, and then the only thing that is breaking that line is either like storytelling thing, which is failing here, missing, or the fact
Yeah.
that they are moving. So as you can see already from this scene, how intense the atmospheric fog is. You can see, like, look at here, how wide it is. You usually see the environment so wide when it's very, very far away. But if you look at the old picture, like, it's all very foggy. And I think the reason why they make it that foggy, from my point of view, is to create the cinematic effect, and also to create a separation in the planes of the image. In terms of planes, you can see we got one plane which is one plane that is this bridge, and you can see here. Fine. We got one plane which is this, and then we got like another plane here, and then what you can see, like, here too, one plane here, and then the house behind, like it's another plane. And that's I think they saw what you said here about you didn't know where they were coming from, or you didn't really see them, and they tried to fix that by making creating some value difference between this plane and the background, by increasing a lot more than it would have been. I guess it can happen that you got like this foggy environment, but to me it looks good.
Yeah, it's probably too much because of, like I said, it was very difficult to me to difference in between the background right there. But I see your point of view. Okay.
I saw the
Probably
explosion there.
didn't help.
It's basically, oh, look at me, but I think someone was busy shooting the guys. I think when the plane came and destroyed the bridge is where you could have looked at, but I guess that's pretty cool ending.
The war brought death home. It wasn't just about
Or actually, the destruction of the bridge wasn't to attract my eye there where the enemy were.
and they found the children
Don't know.
in schools.
Could be.
Yeah, I think it was a mix of things, and I think ultimately, since it's towards the end of that mission, it's also to ramping up the intensity of the scene by creating this, like, oh, explosion, and then planes, and then people are shooting RPGs at you, and then the planes comes close and kills you, kind of thing. From you being safe in that little nest of rock up there with your cover and seeing the old picture, to you losing control of what's going on, and then I guess changing.
Yeah, I see. So this one is going to be interesting because one, I'm pretty bad at flying in every Battlefield game, and two, I don't really see how you could say something about clouds and sky. So how can it be done a work in here? Maybe just with the cloud shape or the light from the sun.
Getting
I don't
dizzy
know.
looking at that video. The one thing that we can already see that we don't need to stop is the differentiation of the planes of the cloud. You can see the closer they are to you, the darker they are, and you can see the planes of the cloud as far as they go. That's another depth. Yeah, like it's such an abstract environment that.
Yeah, in this case, the UI is an essential part of it because it's very difficult to follow the enemies in the sky.
Yeah, it's also very annoying.
And you, yeah,
One thing that
And probably you don't have the landscape that helps you to identify them. Probably.
Yeah, I mean they pop out really well because they are black and white, so I think like, you can see them well. They are just too far from you to actually see them properly. I guess that's why you got the UI, but I think the landscape actually makes it much easier to identify them. What I saw in this shot is with the cloud, they sort of made like 2 layers. And you got the bottom layer, and you got the top layer. It looks like you're kind of fighting in this middle area, which is, I think it's just a nice way to create some separation. And then you will see from the bottom layer you have clouds sticking out, just to make it more organic. At the top, it looks like the gameplay area of this place. Cube, you're like in this cube here. And then around the cube you got the cloud creating like the border of the yes. But yeah, as you say, like
I see.
Really
I hate to fly in games, or at least in Battlefield games. I love to play as a soldier, but when I need to drive something, it's really hard for me.
Yeah, overall I think they did an amazing job. Usually clouds are pretty hard to make look nice in game. I see how this is like a scene that you don't have anything else apart from clouds, so they probably have more room to push with the performance to make it look great. But in general,
Yeah.
it's very hard and amazing job.
Airmen, infantry, volunteers, conscripts, them and us. It didn't matter
I
where the danger came from.
okay. No.
The threat of death.
I thought this was the end of the introduction part.
Victory.
Right here, we got a bit of the in front of us, but before we move, we can see already. Actually, I think it's a bit cover. How much paddles has been used in this scene, and I guess it was raining before or something, but you know it's something that you can always add, that you can always justify as, oh, it was raining 2 hours ago, and that's why there's a paddle. The reason why we add paddles in game is to make the overall image look slick by creating this kind of reflection, which is really cool. And it was one of the main visual improvement in this generation of games. So I think sometimes we abuse them, but having paddles that add reflection and add like material variation on the scene, it's like a really good idea, and it makes the scene look pretty cool. Keep going.
Stain.
Sorry, I want to stop again. Here you can see how everything is wet here. And that's basically exactly what I was saying. And you can see how nice you can get this paddle looking. Like you can see it's not just like a flat plane. It's like merging with the mud. Like it's really really cool.
Actually, Battlefield 5 was one of the first games that used ray tracing, so they probably pushed that a lot. You know, I remember a few scenes in the mission after this one, that there were a lot of puddles, and the environment was completely wet. So I think they were trying to use it the most way possible the RTX reflection.
Yeah, that definitely, like, with the new RTX technology in games, puddles and reflection and metas and mirrors, things like that will definitely very cool. Are you playing with RTX? Yeah, I don't think so, right?
In this case, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I can see how the reflection in this is using just a cube map around it. A cube map is just like a picture, like a sphere of like a photo. Imagine like you're doing a photosphere with your phone. You're applying that to these things so that it reflects things. So as you can see, there is now the guy here running, and here there is now the tank, the reflection, and that's because the character is a dynamic thing that it moves, and the photosphere that this puddle is using is a static thing that gets baked offline. Yeah, there is other way to achieve a sort of real-time reflection, but in this case, I think we are now in the angle where we will be able to see that and get the benefits from that. And definitely, like the good things about RTX is that you will get very realistic reflection. So if there is someone here, you will see the reflection there. If there is like this house here, you will see the reflection somewhere there. So it's really, really accurate in terms of calculating that kind of information in the picture. But yeah, you can see already with the wetness and with the fact that the light is somehow, I don't know, somewhere there. I think like in this area, and you can see this getting bounced there and then getting to you. You can see that because of that, it's creating this contrast where the puddles are, and that leads you to that direction. That's the way going. I think where you start with the gun, where everything going towards, and then the path is going towards that direction. Pretty much it. Good going. Nice physics. Already here, you can see an amazing structure here. Pointing down here, go one structure which is popping out a lot because it's the only structure in this location, and you can see the plane behind it is very bright, so it's really sticking out. Plus we got this line here, guy going there. We got puddles. It looks a bit like petrol, I guess, because your computer wasn't powerful enough. And
yeah, it's true.
On this side, I think we got some power line probably leading that direction. And I think now you kind of move it away, but I think what they were trying to do when you were reaching this area, you will be able to see with the rule of third, you're able to have this area here, which is where you went. So sometimes whenever we can, we try to frame. It's impossible to, unless you take control of the camera of the player, it's impossible to make sure 100% to have the player looking exactly the way you want. So what we try to do, we try to create some gates in the environment where the player has to go through, or is kind of have to go through that, or because it's getting shot is looking at it, or other ways to achieve that. But with those gates are very useful because we are sort of control of what the player is looking, and that allows us to create nice composition in terms of nice environment in terms of composition and making and placing things in the right place. A pretty image.
Are you drawing right now, or?
Yeah, I was drawing. Sorry.
Okay. In fact, I wanted to say that also the bridge where drawing on the landscape where you need to focus, but you already drew it, but I couldn't see.
Apparently, I'm not good enough to press 3 buttons. So you can see here that, the house that we were looking at earlier is actually the house that we are going towards. We still have the bridge here going down, which going there, going there. We got tire marks, puddles going here. There's something going on here, which I can't really understand. Probably like, I don't know, like piece of things. And is that a gun? And you can see how
Yeah.
that is popping out. And I assume they wanted you to see that and use that so that you
Yeah.
kind of create like an encounters, probably enemies that will come from that direction.
In fact, that's a mounted machine gun that you need to use.
Good, yeah. And yeah, I think it's pretty. This thing is pretty simple. But yeah, you can see. So again, the structure here, there was the only structure in that direction, and that was very separated in terms of value from the background. Is now, you know, where we are and where we're gonna be safe behind, and you can see already silhouette of what is safe. So you can see like here I'm safe because I cleared this area, and you can see there is a gun there, and here who knows how it's gonna look, right? So I think this scene is more about, you know, getting to the gun, getting there, and clear that area. But maybe wrong. See. Here, another really cool thing. Look at this massive machine gun. Those are basically arrows pointing down, and they are exactly where the first enemies are. So these guys are definitely there to lead the eyes there, and especially this one, you can see how visible it is since it's against the sky and it's a black silhouette on the bright sky. But even like if I remove the arrows, this guy, you see the rim light that is getting the shape of it and making it more visible, and the bridge behind.
Are you drawing?
Sorry. Keep forgetting to press the second button. So yeah, I was saying that this guy here are there, you know, for storytelling, but also to lead the eyes down, and they're creating arrows, and especially the right one that is against the sky is definitely like visible. Look down. This is both of these other two, you can see they have a rim light, which is a light that you see that makes the silhouette of objects more visible, like and that's also like helping that. Plus the bridge in the background has a lighter value than this, which makes this slightly detached from what's behind, even if they look very close. So these are lines going down, and you can see here this thing here, this thing here. You can see with this guy being used by like defining the borders of this area, and that creates a sort of channel coming down, and that's exactly where the enemy that's it gonna shoot at. Again, like in previous, like everywhere, we got like foreground here, which is really good, and the same foreground here is same asset used here, and that creates a sense of depth of space. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Let's see if you're right. How's that? Actually, there weren't enemies there. Am I right? Yeah, I mean that the structure pointed out in a certain place, but the enemies were on the right side of it.
Yeah, I think you know, that's where the first guy were maybe, and that's where a lot of guys were coming from. That's just the way you get your eyes there instead of looking at the house or something. Or you almost die.
It was scripted, I guess.
Was it?
Scripted.
Was it?
Yeah, it was scripted.
Man's unworthiest creation. Relate it back to us.
We have Sokoboy that says
Does it hit
that it's a cool breakdown.
You,
birthing
man.
us in violence and blood? Ending us in fear? Numb?
So pretty depth of field. Oh, look at these pictures. Look at this. This like so good. Like, you know, you already see the arrow here. This guy.
Yeah.
You got UI helping. You got this fire here, kind of. These two fires that are very high in terms of brightness, so they kind of did their eye there and there.
Yeah, it's channeling your attention.
Got the sun here. Yes. Although I think you weren't able to move around here, so they don't need to show you where the enemies are because they are coming from you. But you can still see that the enemies are well detached from the background. No, I mean not really well, but like you can see enough. Yeah, pretty cool. I like the depth of field of this.
Until you've pulled the trigger on an enemy, you're not ready for war.
The slow-mo fucked up with my aim right here.
Sure.
You're only ready to die. Beginnings,
So pretty.
endings,
These details.
in between one
So I think this is the end of
between first
the
and last,
introduction.
always searching,
How cinematic these
Sometimes
scenes
finding.
are.
brothers, sons and daughters, mothers and fathers. We have no world without.
I know that this is a cinematic, so they have full control, but look at this thing. Got one subject here, got a line here, lining this guy and making a nice hollow thing.
Hmm.
You got train, so you got storytelling that shows, oh, there was a war here, which guess what it is. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And in terms of composition, I don't know why, but when I press shift, the line. Anyway, if you see the composition, I need to put some overlay. Like you can see one subject here, one subject there. Pretty straightforward. Got the eye.
Yeah, but it's too easy right here because it's fully controlled, dude.
Yeah, it's fully controlled. I agree. So you also have this nice perspective line leading there. Pretty good. Got contrast here. I think this shot is really good. Oh, a bit of foreground. Pretty cool. But yeah, again, the control thing, so it's very hard to achieve, but I think you can take some lessons from this shot.
Hmm.
There is no other world.
Pretty cool, pretty cool.
Yep.
Guess that was the end of the first part.
Mm-hmm.
And how long are we? An hour? I think we can maybe watch another video and then call it a day.
Yeah. Okay.
Which in. Okay, we're back. And that's the second video. You can see he picked medium because he's not really good at playing this game.
But I needed to choose hard.
A corner UI.
So
That's the real deal. One thing that we should learn from this screen here is that you need to leave the text as long as reading it twice. If you should time yourself and read it twice, and that should be the length of the text before you fade it. If you wanna make some like that.
who teach you this?
Again?
Who teach you this? How do you know it's true?
I've been in meetings.
Are you Billy Bridger? Says on my pad here, criminal use of explosives, assault, attempted armed robbery, arson, attempted armed robbery. Did you try and rob the same bank 3 times? No. Oh, yes, you did. Because you're Billy Bridger. You are the son of big, bad, horrible Arthur Bridger. I'm Arthur fucking Bridger. Give me the fucking money. Now that's your dad, isn't it? So how comes he didn't get sent down with you then?
Cinematics, yeah.
Clubs on your own.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
the campaign is very story driven.
I've got a little deal for you. I'm putting together a unit. You're gonna fucking love it. It's right up your street.
Do you feel like Battlefield is more about the campaign or more about the multiplayer? I know in Call of Duty now they almost removed the campaign because it's all about the multiplayer, even if now they're trying to reintroduce it a bit. What do you think about
Yeah.
Battlefield?
Well, I don't know. I mean, also in Battlefield 1, I didn't really play the campaign. I just bought it for the multiplayer part. But it's the same thing for Call of Duty. The last Call of Duty I bought is Modern Warfare. And I like that they remade a few missions of the original one, but I didn't end the campaign neither there. So I like it. I mean, it's a nice campaign. The story, it's okay. The cinematic feel, it's beautiful, but I'm not pretty, attract to the campaign part of the game. So most of the time I skip it.
I see. Nice.
It's sad, but it's true.
There we go. We are back in game. Is this like part of the main game? That you have weapon here? Or is
What?
just
Excuse me?
is this part of the game? Like, are we like starting to play the game seriously now? That
Yeah. This is a game.
Alright, so this is the first part, and gotta lie here. Usually we all want to go towards lights. Plus, we got some nice paddles here that are creating arrow here. I think just the fact that we have a light is an indicator of where we have to go. All of the lights, right? So when we place lights in games, we also try to create this sort of player leading light placement. And yeah, I guess that's pretty straightforward.
Can barely move without spilling over. What do you want me to do? Tuck you in?
Yeah, the first part in it's really guided. Also by the NPC that it's showing you where to go. You need to follow him.
Yeah. Look how nice this scene is. It's like we have a moonlight, I believe, line coming from somewhere there. That creates this nice information on the rock that makes you understand how the rock formation is, which is pretty awesome, actually. And on top of that, you can see the puddles kind of leading the way somewhere. I don't know. I know that we go there. I don't know what happened after that. But I think, it's cool and creates a very atmospheric thing like on those shiny rocks. And I assume it was raining here. That's why the rocks are so shiny. Or some rocks are also shiny too. Yeah, pretty good.
Tons and tons of paddles just for the RTX part.
Yeah. Look at that.
You still have the explosives on you?
No left.
And
Guess
I've
that-
improved them at my own recipe.
What's in there? Nothing. Just not even.
Nothing. I didn't really understand why they left it open if they didn't put nothing there.
Like you can see here how nice this is. Like you got this sort of trail or stream of water that is going down. Got some people here, you don't see them, but if you follow this, probably you see them. Again, we got the moon making us understanding what's going on in terms of rock shapes. We can kind of define the shapes that are behind these rocks. You can see how I'm able kind of to draw shape of it. And I think that's a pretty cool way to display rocks. And I can see also that there's bushes that pretty dark, like here somewhere. And I guess that's just to add some variation to the rock monotony, to make a less just rock. Yeah, very good. Yeah, usually, so yeah, like what can we learn from here? I think here we can learn that rocks can look really good, but always try not to leave a wall of rocks. I think that's what they were trying to do here too. I always to add variation, whatever that is a bush, whatever that is a structure or other type of material. But I think having some sort of variation on that helps to sell more. Noisy, big kind of objects like blocks. Also here, I think I should go back to the video, but I can see how there's like a little stream of water going down, and it probably it's connecting to. You can see also here how the water is kind of flowing down, and I guess that's a normal like erosion of the water connected to this. And it's not like in this case, I don't think they were really trying to lead the eyes with those like little stream on the side, but it's just to make logic of why there is a bigger stream in it. And because the player is walking on that small stream, then automatically all these like sidelines are helping the eye to get back to central part, which is where.
How much time do you think it takes to create a scene like this, so rich with all these details?
Well,
in your opinion?
Yeah, it's really hard to say how long it takes, because it's not just like if you have all the assets ready, that looks good, and you just need to place it. So if you have just to, you got all the assets in an asset library, and you just need to create this composition from scratch, and you know exactly, because maybe you have a concept that shows you how you want the look or something. I think it could take like, just for the dressing, a week or so. But usually it's never that simple, because we never know since the end what exactly do we want from the environment. So you do something, and then there are some feedback, and then you change something, and then so at the end of the day, that's why video games take so long to make, because there is so much interaction in it that increase the time scale of how long things take to make. So from a week of, if you know exactly everything, and directors are good, everyone is happy, from A to B of this thing, I guess it takes a week. But if you are in a realistic video game industry situation, it probably takes more like a month.
A month.
Yeah, a month or 2 months with the amount of interaction that there is, especially because this is like the part of the first part of the game, so there is a very close attention to the details. First part. I don't
That's
know why.
interesting.
Again, you can see the lines on the ground, which is the water flowing. And that's just the environmental storytelling. That's just like the artist making the narrative of the geology of this place, with the water corrosion and things.
Do you actually study geology or have generic notions of it? When you create your environments, do you study actually how environments are in real life?
Definitely, when we start an environment, we make so before I apply it to your thing, here,
Yeah.
I think we got the first tutorialization of going prone,
the crouch,
and crawling under this thing. So we usually tend to do that. We try to make things try to make tutorial without forcing the player too much. So this is like a good example how, there is a rock there, so you need to crawl under it, and then learn how to crawl. And that's this guy showing you, you need to crawl, because theoretically I think you can fit here without crawling, maybe, but because this tutorialization, I think, to learn how to crawl. I'm surprised there isn't a UI pop-up that shows press something.
Yeah, maybe it pops out when you don't do it for a long time.
Yeah, that might be really true. That time again here, you came out from, you see the tutorialization thing. That's one of those gates that I was talking about. So from that, we know that the player is gonna look at this thing. So here you can see how that is the composition thing. Oh, why? Yeah, you can see how this. Where we go here, there's a line here, a line there, right there. This guy, from where he was here, is moving now here, and it's probably, if you don't move, it's gonna go here. Thing. So when the guy was here, you have it here, and I think that's a very effective way to guide the eye like that. Not only with the composition, but also the fact that your companion guy is moving. You have to go. And to make this more attractive to the eye, they also introduced shapes like this thing sticking out. Probably there are like piece of wood, maybe trenches or something, and you got some trees too. So from if you see everything else apart from that thing, like all of this, it's all rock, and the only new elements are all here, which is where you have to go. But the brain and the eyes like, oh, new elements, look, what are those? And they look here, and so that's where. Yeah. I think actually you got some elements here too, some like branches coming out, but I don't think they are as visible as that. But they have to really nice to create that sort of transaction to make something visible, and then need the player lie down. Yeah, and again, from if you look at the floor, because the material variation, there is a very clear distinction between the walls of this space and the place where you walk, which is also something that we have to kind of make clear in games. Player needs to understand where they can walk freely and where they cannot. So you can see this area here is like and obviously it's also helping to create it. So, see that too?
I guess. And right now it's hard to see anything because of the lines and the arrows, etc.
Alright, let's go back to the video. Completed this image. You see the structure coming out? How interesting they are?
Yeah.
Do you know where we're going?
Background of the
And
puzzle.
it's right. I mean,
Don't know where we're going.
you clearly see where you can walk and you should walk
Right.
You got
the navigation path.
two trees there, definitely making the gate, and that's another sort
Yeah.
of gate. So I think is it here? I guess control. And we have full control
Yeah,
of
it's
the
just-
camera.
Got some jerrys over here.
Again, you see the objective. Where the objectives are,
Looks like
Probably
a load of barrels.
there are lights, or they are trying to make a stand out with landmarks or shapes,
Rubbish.
color, contrast, those elements.
Yeah. In this case, the UI, I think it's guiding me
It's a long
where I
way
should
off,
look.
though.
The hangar there is most likely secured. So
Well,
once you're down there,
have you seen the spotlight that was flashing?
Yeah, probably.
That
Like,
really catch my eye.
yeah, flickering lights or movement with a
sure about these bombs.
bright area that moves are really good to the eyes there. As you can see now, it's starting to rain, so it kind of makes sense that everything's wet. Probably is like a rainy
Now listen to me.
location. Where was it? London,
I'm gonna
right?
put my bombs on those planes over
Was
there.
this in London?
Here?
I'm gonna put
Yeah.
yours
No,
on
where
them
was
there.
it?
Right, I do not get caught.
I'm on it.
I can't remember actually.
No time to wait, son. Down you go.
I can Google it.
Easy, easy.
There we go. We got here. This is another gate. So here we know that the player is gonna be here and is gonna look at this thing. Again, moon from the sky. Great, nice reflection here that are leading there. Mountains. Yes, the mountains. It's more like this. Pretty straightforward. We got some stuff here. There is I think the devs put some light here, some fog, something like that. Maybe there is something special to get, like a new weapon or something. Yeah. But yeah, you can see how this is leading there. And another thing that is very obvious to look at it, which it makes sense with the weather that this mission is set on, but all of this cloud here is very dark. And because it's dark, it doesn't make the mountains in the background stand out more, which is what exactly they want, because they don't want the eye to go on that direction, right?
Mhm.
But on the other side, the clouds are much brighter here, and because of that, they are creating nice silhouettes, which is where you go. So by creating this kind of dark and bright area, they are able to control where the high contrast values are, which is exactly where the player has to go in this specific.
I see.
You horrible
You
bastards.
didn't answer me before about the geology.
Fuck
Yeah.
this
So
You know.
when we make environment, there we go. Here we got a light, we got a weapon, like we were saying it. When we make environment, we study and we find reference and we try to understand as much as we can how to make them very believable and very realistic. If the game is right. And usually, if we are lucky, there are productions where there are directors that are specialized on that thing that can provide valuable feedback.
Oh, that's cool.
Or sometimes we also hire external people to help us making games,
Oh,
make games better.
realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, pretty nice. We got the wings of the planes that created this nice gate, and obviously you want to go through there, and that's just a nice way to create a gate. In my opinion, I just want to highlight that. Cool. Here we got like plenty of tree. Would be nice if we were heading here. Like without that. This gate here is more stands out a bit better because it doesn't have things that compete with the silhouette. But I think I don't know, maybe there's a reason why they did that. But,
I think it's I think you should go there next. Or maybe
you can see the lights there. It's like, oh, there's a light. Look at the light. Oh, there's an enemy. Very, very, very forward.
and also the enemy is right in front of the alarm, so you are introduced in the concept of alarms and disarming them.
Exactly. Very good point.
I'm so good. Have you seen this?
So sad. Everywhere you got something to loot, you got a light.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is a common practice in the games. Signpost things to interact with. Unless it's like a secret thing that unlocks your secret thing.
And they use also bright colors, like the cache there was yellow, I think,
Yeah.
or with a
yeah, I think
piece of clothing
we
yellow.
will see that yellow color in probably all the loot boxes, or whatever boxes we're gonna find, and we can interact. Either yellow or other color that really pops out from the environment. You can see here now we're walking on either trenches or rock erosion. Very cool. So here, let's see. Get out of the camera. So here you can see you got this upper hand area, and you are able to assess the situation. And obviously there are lights telling you where to look at. In fact, you got enemies there, enemies there, enemies there, and you got these silhouettes sticking out a lot. In fact, there is an enemy there, right here. So you can see like all the enemies, which might also not be the case for other games, but like in this case, all the enemies are somehow where lights or elements that attract your eyes are. There is like this nice silhouette here sticking out. And yeah, talking about this upper end here, probably if you were going from the right and you were flanking on that direction, there might be another rock and another point where you can like scout the place and understand what's going on, and the same way on the other side. I think this is really good because it allows you to have an the entire place and about the enemies, and then think about, oh, shall I go from there? Shall I go around? Shall I go to this guy first, go in there and then shoot at the guy from there? So you can understand what kind of strategy you wanna do. You wanna use when you kill this guy. I think that. You decide to go right, and there is more. You need to take those out first, so that you don't get.
It's amazing. It's like you're reading my mind.
All right, you need to kill
But
those. You're scared of getting overrun by when you go with the other guys down there. You need to clear these off.
Oh, I fucked up.
As you saw that, the oil barrel thing is an explosive things, and usually they're always red. So if you see red things that look like barrels or jerry cans, just shoot at them.
There were red barrels beside a fire.
Yeah.
So
I know, right?
it looked pretty safe to me.
I think that's what they were trying to do, make to show you fire and red. Like, ooh,
Created okay.
look at
Created
that.
the association between. Okay, I understand.
You can see here how structured. It's kind of, you can see that it's now in the background because the background has a different value, so it's there. And you probably see the light here. Okay, you can see the lights there where the enemies you were spotting earlier were, kind of thing. I think they were in that direction. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, maybe this is like a safer position and it's like higher than where I was before, so I can probably scope better what's going on that side and maybe attack from this side or learn new way to approach that space. And I think that's the reason why this location sticks out so much, and you got again this nice rim light around the edge here caused by the moonlight or whatever light it is that are making this pop out more. Probably you're gonna go left now, right?
I think I'm going right, actually.
Yeah, either way, that place looks like an interesting place to explore. Maybe it can provide new strategies or a way to approach.
Yeah, I think that going through this part will lead me to exactly what the final objective is. You have two ways, I think. Going right here and clear this part, or going inside the camp. I think it's obvious that the player won't go right straight away on the camp because it's full of people. You are you started out with stealth weapons, so it's pretty guided, I guess.
So in the little wall that we're trying to jump on, we try to make it look like you cannot jump by placing a push on it, so that doesn't look like, oh, I can jump on it, but I guess it wasn't enough. A lot of times we put
No, I guess no.
we put barbed wire on top of fences or structures that player not supposed to climb, and that's just a visual language that the player, oh, don't climb there. And sometimes the barbed wire might look out of place. That's why we try to use more organic approach, like bushes or other spiky looking elements. That's the other example I'll try to.
But in many games, the bushes on the walls are used for climbing. So
Yeah, but not in this game.
Yeah, I understand. But now I know it,
Yeah,
and
fair
I
enough.
won't make it again.
Was this location a location you were scouting earlier?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. You got like another angle. You learn new things. I think that's the tower that we were looking at earlier. That was a nice silhouette. And I think now you have a 360 understanding of what's going on. So I think the structure up there that we were looking at earlier, it really worked well as, tempting the player to go up there for like clear more enemies, and as well as to get a better overview of these other
Oh
locations.
shit! I miss it.
Look at that shot there. Damn. Damn.
Right here in this view, it's pretty clear the path that you need to. Oh, this one, I remember this one.
That looks like
It's
what?
yeah, but it's like full of armor. I don't know.
I don't know.
I shot him like 20 times.
I like how he's like, oh, I'm covered here. Oh, no.
See, it's
What the hell?
I gave up here.
You can see, like, as you were saying earlier, you got many ways to get there. You got this way, that way, or you got the way from the other direction coming from that thing. And again here, you see of the water flows, corrosion things is here, and I think it's a really good way to deal.
Well, actually, if you see, there's UI that indicates you where you need to enter. You need to go inside the hangar, and the UI is showing you where to go. Probably it's because from this point of view, it seems like that you could go on the left side, and probably there is no entrance there. So the UI force you to take the right way.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I can see in here, apart that we have two spotlight that are pointing to this location, but all the elements are kind of on the right side of divided by the two. A lot of elements are on the right side of this bunker, which makes it more interesting and I guess provides more cover. In fact, like if you look at here, this space doesn't have many covers, but if you look at that, it's a lot of covers. We like, we got cover here, we got covers there, probably cover there. And here, the only cover is like this and here. That's it. So definitely they try to guide you towards that direction, allowing you to be safer, play more stealthily.
Right.
Objects to hide of, yes. You go there, you hide down there. And we... Damn.
Yeah. It was like a juggernaut, I don't know. Exploded. Maybe it's because I shot him too many times on the chest and not on the propane tank that he had on the back.
That's what we're looking for.
You saw that you went to where the light was, but there was nothing. Really, could have been better.
Yeah.
That was.
It's just like
Hey,
a
bro,
believe
hey,
in
doctor.
passing this beauty.
You see, there is a light on top of the door.
Actually, went really
There
well.
where you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Thing.
Yeah, sorry.
Your bombs almost killed me.
Yeah, that's because my bombs went off.
Pretty cool mission.
One of them
Now that guy's gonna try to fly off, but
Jesus Christ, Bridget, did you plant
Lord.
the bombs or not?
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
I'm telling you now, these special explosives of yours, they better be really fucking special.
Wait for it.
Bridget.
Any second now.
oh,
Oh, sweet Jesus. Sweet Jesus. Here we are, up Fritz's shitter, and I ask you to do one thing. One fucking thing that you tell me that you're a big expert
Can I
in.
just say
No, you
then?
can't, because what the fucking hell was that?
I've occasionally had teething problems.
Teething problems, don't make me fucking laugh. I could have done that with a fucking light breeze, a speck of rain, or a tiny teeny bird perched on that wing would have done more damage.
from the accent, I think they are in England, which makes sense why it's all so wet.
Or maybe it's Australia.
Fucking thing out of the sky. Try not to.
This seems like Australia.
Is it?
All right, you bastards. Another wing of planes incoming.
Back for another round, eh?
Now I guess you need to survive away and stuff. I think. I think yeah, you're really like in the place, like safe in the place. You see the barrier there that you can shoot and make super low.
Oh shit. Yeah, probably I took the easiest way slash quickest
Yeah, that's very exposed. I guess
because
that's
yeah.
high reward.
I don't think they really wanted me to do that way. There they should have punished me, you know, put in more enemies where I'm more exposed.
They're punishing you now.
Yeah, kinda. No. That was close.
Ah, good job, good job.
Thanks, mate.
That was FPS then.
Jesus Christ, Bridget, that was incredible.
Yeah, my laptop was struggling here.
Listen, I was sitting pretty in prison, mate. I was not bothering nobody and not getting shot at till you come along. This is your fucking fault.
Listen to me. You took the fucking deal. You want to start paying it off your end? Then you need to fucking liven yourself up, boy. Do you understand me?
Halt! Wer seid ihr?
I think we could cut it from here, if you agree.
Kind of like that. landscape. There's a lot of this almost look like a painting. Playing.
Yeah. The sunrise.
So pretty. I think pretty cool game.
Yeah.
Full of good elements to learn from. I hope what I said is useful for someone. And yeah, if you have any suggestion, you would like to see a specific game, if you would like to see other aspect of the game or thing, let us know. And I'm gonna save all the screenshots that I took. I'm gonna post them on Discord channel, so if you want get the starting email that I took to the stream, and get that. You can find the Discord link in our panels stream on Twitch.
Yeah. Cool. That was nice. I learned something.
What do you think is gonna be the next game?
I thought it would be very cool to actually bring Titanfall 2. Do you know it?
I've seen some gameplay. I never played though, so that's really interesting.
There are a lot of amazing missions in the campaign, and it's it's very underrated, I think. So it would be nice to bring it up.
Yeah, sounds good. And okay, I guess for everyone in the stream now, or everyone that's gonna watch this there, I guess we will see you the next video / stream. And if you like this content, let us know, and know if you think we should improve something. That's all.
Thanks for watching.
For watching, everyone.